When we started MotorInc right at the beginning, we did a little bit of a survey where we asked, what would you like to see in a review? And one of the biggest things you asked for was, could you comment on what service would be like? And we know now that there's always somebody unhappy about the service quality of whatever brand of machine they own, cars and motorcycles both. But have you stopped to think about why that is, especially on motorcycles? Think about what you're paying to service your motorcycle in India today. Remove the consumables because, okay, let's say it's part of the dealership's inventory process, not the manpower process. What have you got left? You're paying 300, 400 rupees for like a commuter. You're paying 2,000 rupees for a large machine. You will have dinners from Swiggy that cost more than this. The Swiggy dinner will be digested in 3 hours and then it will force you to go to the loo in the morning. But you pay less than that to service your pride and joy, which you will ride for 5,000 kilometers until you go back to get the next service. You know, there's a saying, they say when you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And it's so appropriate here because I really want you to think about this. When you pay that little for service, can you believe that the dealer can pay their mechanics a reasonable amount of money so that they're proud of the job that they do? They take pleasure in trying to help you fix your problems, and they are senior enough and knowledgeable enough to be able to diagnose what the problem is and then walk you through it. There is a lot of chatter on the internet about how we are becoming a replacement economy rather than a repair economy, that people don't want to repair parts, they want to replace them. The reason why we want to replace parts as a system is because the mechanics are underpaid, they are not very skilled people, and they simply cannot repair things. It's just faster and more efficient to have them replace parts. And it's not like you can go to a dealership and say, no, I don't want to pay you 300 rupees. I'd like to pay you 3,000 rupees. And now can you do a better job? Because it will take time for the system to react to the fact that you're willing to pay. But think about it from the mechanic side for a second. You start out at a low pay. You are very, very invested in your work and you develop your skills and knowledge to a very high level. But at the very highest level, at a service advisor level in a two-wheeler premium dealership, you're still making 25, 30,000 rupees a month. Which, if you think about it, is MBA freshers make what? 3 times that as a starting salary today? What do you do next? As you can see, the next thing that you have to do as a skilled mechanic is exit the system and start a dealership or a service business or a garage of your own. It's the only way out where you can get paid for the skill and the knowledge that you have. And therefore, if you think about it, today's automotive dealerships find it very hard to diagnose problems that the software doesn't show up, which require a little bit of knowledge and experience to say, oh yeah, I've seen that problem before and I know where it's coming from and it's not an obvious place. Which is why most of us serious motorcyclists never depend solely on the authorized network. We all have a network of garages outside and the authorized service, and we balance the need for complicated repairs and regular jobs so that we don't void our warranties, but our bikes keep running as beautifully as we expect them to. Who do you think you pay more money to for the same job? It's always the guy outside the system. Our friend Aspi Bathena, who's one of the senior editors in our business, his family runs, I think, 2 or 3 garages out of Pune. And they all follow the exact same principles. Their service might cost 2 to 3 times what the garage would. I think it might be more now. But when you go there, you get a skilled mechanic who will work only on your bike without distraction until they finish. And for that privilege, you pay that money. But it's not possible for the authorized system to do it. So why does service suck? It starts with the fact that we expect the service to be really cheap, but we expect the quality of the service to be really premium. And as I say that, you should understand that that's not going to be possible. If we are going to give our mechanics respect, the salaries that they deserve, some of that load has to fall on our shoulders. This is why when I go outside the system, where I know that the knowledge levels are higher, I have more respect personally one-to-one with the mechanic I'm working with, I actually will either pay earlier or overpay if I can. It's not because I'm well off. It's to make sure that they understand that I respect the value of their work. And I want them to have as good a life as they can because they're making my life better by making my machines run better. It's proactive. And the question is, service will suck as long as you're reactive. And what does it need for you to become proactive from tomorrow?